Castbender Podcast is associated with Comic Related. If it's comic related, you'll find it here. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Castbender Podcast, episode 57 for January 7th, 2014. You are here with your hosts, AJ Lewis.
Hello.
Teagan Chevrier.
Hello.
And Tyrell Lisson. So we're back again this week. This is the first regular episode back from the Christmas/New Year break. Last week's episode was actually 42 minutes long, I think. And it was longer than we expected. It was fantastic. We released those on Thursdays. We're back to releasing on Tuesdays every week. You can also remember you can view this podcast now on YouTube. So if you like the YouTube better, then you can go there and view it there. But this week we have our first piece of news as AJ shakes. He's shaking back and forth. You can't see this, but I will visualize it. He's wearing full black. You'll be able to see it in the vlog footage, actually, because we're recording this simultaneously as we record.
I'm a shaky person.
He is a shaky person.
Shakes.
Okay, so the first piece of news that we have is that the Book 3 screenshot of Bolin and the Animals of Team Avatar was released. I know a couple people were asking about stills, possibly. I know our friends over at Avatar: The Legend of Korra online.com, they subtweeted Brian the other week asking to, come out and give us some information maybe. Because, they like to post on their Tumblrs. And that's where a lot of the news breaks, it seems. And we've talked about that in other episodes of utilizing Tumblr. And they do a fairly good job sometimes of using their Tumblr effectively. But, I guess there was enough requests, or maybe they were just at that port.
I think they just did it.
Yeah, and the event took place, and what came out of it? Bolin with a bunch of animals. So you have Pabu on Bolin's shoulder, you have Naga just skeezing in the back, and what is it, Oogie? Yeah, Oogie just trolling back there. And it's not really that interesting because it's not anything like we can speculate about because it's just kind of there.
It's just a picture. It's a picture.
You can view it online. Go over to the Tumblr if you want, or
the Tumblr.
Any of our sources. Yeah, it's now, you can't just say like twitter.com. It's got to be the Twitter.com. Or the Facebook.
.com.
.org/.co.uk. .biz. Because we know everybody uses that one. Or .xxx. That exists. I don't know why. Because no pornographic websites even use .xxx. I don't even know.
You are clearly not going to the right website.
Well, you can just assume because nobody would type in XXX.
Oh, you're wrong.
I know Silverstein has...
If you remember that YouTube video, Retarded Animal Babies, XXX is for porno and beer. So maybe people are looking for beer.
Is it actually for beer?
I don't know. That's what
Baby
said.
Yeah, I think it might be true. Silverstein, the band Silverstein, people have been doing this lately. If there's a domain that ends in the last two letters of their name, they'll do that. So it's like silverstein.in.
Interesting.
Yeah, and there's .me has become a popular one too,
Mm-hmm.
like about.me, and there's different profile websites and stuff like that. I'm not sure if I necessarily like those either. But then obviously Pirate Bay, they jump around to a new domain every day.
They get taken down.
Yeah.
They have I think they said 70 possible.
Yeah, a lot of people go through Pirate Bay with a proxy now anyway, because it's just easier to get and find it. And I know there was rumors about them going and setting up a North Korean domain because North Korea would do nothing about it, but then every people were like, North Korea would definitely take that down, probably nuke you. But
North Korea would just
where are they right now? Are they in Denmark or the Netherlands or something like that?
They're on an XY domain.
Yeah, I know, it sounds crazy. I just go through the what's it called? The proxy.
They have their own web browser too.
Yeah, they do.
So.
And I remember a couple months ago, they decided that instead of hosting their files in like a actual place that can be shut down, it's on a cloud now. That's great. So nobody can ever get it.
So now, going back to the Avatar podcast portion of Castbender.
Torrent every single episode of Korra. No, actually,
there is a stream like posted just about every week on Tumblr. It gives you every episode, every minisode, everything.
Don't do that. Buy it all on iTunes.
Yes, please support the official release.
Yes.
Or don't, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not bossing you around or anything.
General reactions for this was, whatever. Somebody said they were probably witnessing the much-needed confrontation of Mako, Asami, and Korra. So, what do you think about that?
Definitely not happening because they said they're stopping the relationship stuff.
Yeah.
Hopefully, anyway.
Definitely. And then people are like, oh my god, relationship. And then people are like, Korra and Asami hate each other. I'm like, not really.
They're more likely to end up together than anyone else.
Honestly, I don't know why they hate. I don't know why they don't hate each other. It's a weird thing, and we've talked about this. How they actually don't hate each other.
Well, they don't seem to talk a whole lot.
Well, there doesn't seem to be a lot of anything going on with the characters, really.
They're just kind of there.
Yeah, they're just kind of there, and yeah. So I don't know. The image is cool. Go check it out. It's nothing really groundbreaking or like, yes, finally, we've been waiting so long. It was nothing like that. But that's the news portion of the show, and we're going to get into some topics this week. And, a lot of these topics we've stockpiled for a while, and we've briefly mentioned some of these while talking about other things. But we're going to be talking about one specific thing that I've seen a couple times mentioned, and Avatar Legend of Korra Online wrote an article about it, and a lot of what he said we had already kind of slightly talked about, but we're going to go a little bit more in depth about it. And the premise of what we're going to be talking about is Book 3 will include a throwback maybe to Wan's time by reestablishing the human-spirit conflict. And we've got hints of the human-spirit conflict throughout Book 2 because Wan decided that he wanted to make them live in harmony, but Wan's relationship with the spirits wasn't like everybody's relationship or other humans with spirits, and you saw that through the beginnings part 1 and 2.
Where the people came and burned down the forest.
Yeah, and you generally had people living in lion turtle cities, and you had humans living in lion turtle cities, and you had the spirits living in the spirit wilds or whatever. And
I just want to say that it's rather horrible that these spirits have their own world the humans aren't supposed to go into. They just come take over the human world.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know. Like, it's not...
Why is there even a spirit world?
Yeah, that's true. Teagan, what do you think?
I have no idea.
Like, what do you...
what?
What do you think about...
Exactly.
Yeah.
What do you think about spirits just thinking they own both the physical and the spirit world?
Well,
when they have their own
They're kind
separate
of more
world.
powerful than humans.
I guess. And humans do
why
kind
not?
of go into the spirit world sometimes.
Yeah.
Well,
like,
we don't...
a handful.
They seem to be pretty scared to do anything. They're stuck on a turtle.
Yeah. So thanks to some special features showcased on the iTunes purchasable Book 2 DVD. So you go to iTunes.
Or don't.
Go get our podcast there.
Or don't.
We thought that Book 3 will deal with the aftermath of Unalaq and Fatu's death. The spirit portals are open, like we know, and the spirits can travel in the physical world, and Republic City has sprouted spirit wilds that house spirits. So the main thing
like zoos.
the main thing that people can really kind of take from this is that the spirits, again, are once living on the same playing field as the humans. So what is this going to do? Teagan, you remember the example of that scorpion thing that Tenzin asked for help, and then,
threw off a cliff.
What do you think? Do you think that, obviously, there's going to be a conflict here, because both humans, not all humans get along with spirits, and not all spirits can get along with humans. There are some interactions that are fruitful and nice and all that stuff, but... Fruitful. But it's not exactly 100%... like, let's be friends, and there's no kind of tension there. What do you think about that? Do you think that is even feasible? Is that even possible?
No. Like, there's definitely going to be conflict, I think that's going to be the whole basis of this series, but I don't know. I'm not sure. See, I don't think that they're going to be like upset that they were locked in the spirit world, because at the same time the humans were locked in the human world. So I don't think they'll be mad about that.
Yeah.
But there's just gonna be.
They weren't necessarily locked into the spirit world, because we've seen spirits come over.
Yeah.
And the whole, like, how much of this stuff is canon is very loose at this point, because we don't know how the spirits came over and how people get in the spirit world. It's just whatever. They're there.
How do you feel about the next season featuring a bunch of more spirit stuff? Some people didn't like the spirit aspect. I like some of it, not all of it. And I don't know. Is this a good thing? Because this is what people have been asking, a continuation of a story. But the thing is, it kind of concluded somewhat.
It's a concluded story that's going to take place with a concluded plot line, but with the same. Like,
so is it going to be boring?
I don't know.
That's another thing.
Because they haven't told us anything about the conflict that's coming up.
Yeah. Here's the question for both of you. Should they, A, continue on with this kind of like what some people are saying, you have the spirits to deal with for the whole next season, right? Or do you just, like they did with season 2, for the most part, start a whole new story and hold it over for the last 2, or even or option C, just continue what they're doing essentially and do one season equals like essentially one book that's in a series but does not have any huge connections. A, B, or C. Teagan, we'll do you first.
I want it to be A. Like, I want them to focus on one good story, maybe have a cliffhanger, you know.
They're going to talk about that later, yeah.
Yeah, but, like, Series 2, they started with, like, Civil War thing, and then that just wasn't a thing anymore for some reason. I really hope they don't do that with the spirits, because it's, like, an interesting concept. I don't know.
Yeah, the Civil War was only relevant to kind of make Inalak look kind of bad, and then once he became and you fully understood his investment with the spirit stuff and like the whole Vatu thing, that whole component was just basically like it's not even a war anymore. It's just kind of there. It's like a blockade. I kind of like, I don't know how I feel about this because I kind of don't like the spirit stuff, so I kind of want them to deal with the spirit conflict with the spirit portals, but like continue on with a new story and continue it all the way until the end of Korra. So like the next 2 seasons and then complete it, because you need a new villain anyway. You need a new villain that's going to be good. I've seen this on Twitter. There's been some debates on Twitter that Unalak was a terrible villain because it was predictable. You knew that Unalak was going to be a bad guy, and you knew that he was going to get owned because it's going to happen that way. But it's just how it happened and everything around that was just kind of stupid. It was a good concept with the Dark Avatar, like we said, but it never just really worked. AJ, what option do you like?
If I were to pick, I'd pick like a new plot line, but something that goes over the 2 seasons. But it's going to be interesting with the spirits because they are still making a huge deal about the spirits. So maybe I really hope they don't do this one, but carry this one over for season 3 and have a new thing for season 4, or just have a whole overarching thing.
So you want Korra to go out with one whole new plot that's concluded in season 4?
I don't want them to do that. I want like 3 and 4 to be
one.
One story.
But you fear that it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But because they're making such a big deal of the spirits, I fear they're going to make a big conflict with the spirits. And I don't see how they can make a 3-book-long series about spirits.
Yeah. But in the end, regardless, at the end of season 3, I'm assuming that there's going to be somewhat of a resolution to the shaky past and the relationship between spirits and humans.
We did see that not happen in the first, The Last Airbender, when Aang got his his back shot up by Azula.
Right.
Where we thought there was going to be like resolution. He was going to be the Avatar. He mastered the Avatar state. Then he got his ass handed to him.
Yeah. So Teagan, how do you feel about this? Like, so if season 3 goes along the concept of her dealing with all these problems, it's really this is what the Avatar does. Deals with the balance between the two things and is a diplomat. How do you think Korra is going to be able to deal with all the issues presented to her in book 3? You've seen her deal with issues before, and she hasn't necessarily been the most competent person at doing so. She usually rages and goes off.
She's extraordinarily bad at everything she does.
So, what do you think her approach will be, and do you think she'll be successful in doing so, or do you think she needs the guidelines of others to help her kind of do it?
I think Korra's sort of useless. I don't know. She's definitely going to need help, but Korra's issue is that she refuses help. Until it's a bad guy.
Until she wants help. And then no one's around to give her help.
Exactly. So, yeah, that's probably going to be an issue because she's a little spaz,
What do you feel about, if Korra starts making some decisions, especially in Republic City, and it's a diverse group of people with different needs, a diverse buyers group, a reference to Winnebago. Some will agree, and some will disagree. And every time people disagree with Korra, she doesn't like that. Well, generally people don't like when other people disagree with them.
And then they get killed.
But Korra's in a different situation because she's the Avatar. Now, it'll be interesting to see what happens with her doing this, because I think it would be really interesting if somebody actually betrays her. That's not like a petty, oh, I'm having a tiff with you right now.
I'm going to go date Asami again.
Yeah. Somebody actually betrays her, stabs her in the back. Possibly,
and she dies.
Possibly resulting in another important character's death that she cares about.
Okay, there's two ways it could go. It could go really cliche, or it's Bolin becomes the major villain of season 4. And he's the mastermind behind everything. Because there's totally an overarching plot. He told Mon what to do. He told Unalak to totally take over the spirit world. Or it could be good.
He's a sociopath.
The dark, he could be like Darth Vader. Just gonna become a dark guy and come to the dark side.
A dark guy. Mako, how about Mako?
I don't know.
No.
Mako. I could see Lin just be like...
How about Asami dies?
Okay.
Good.
How about Bolin?
Can we just have a nuke hit Republic City?
Yeah.
Just kill them all.
We should
just restart.
What we should do is have Bolin betray them all. Thus, but not intentionally, because Bolin's not really... I don't think he's necessarily smart enough to pull a full betrayal. By mistake, kind of does this or gets roped in or manipulated, thus killing Asami.
The only way to kill the Avatar is to kill her friends.
Yeah. Thus killing Asami. Then Mako, somehow thinking it was Korra, because Korra gets framed and blamed, and then Mako goes on a vengeful warpath to kill Korra.
Wait, who was the picture of with the animals?
Bolin.
Yeah, he's the animal whisperer. It's animals versus spirits plus humans. That's the whole arc.
Ooh.
Well...
And he's the master of the animals.
Jinora becomes this dark Jesus figure.
Yeah.
That wouldn't please a lot of those people.
Oh well.
I don't know if they'll bring
They're not
religion.
too concerned with pleasing people anymore.
Yeah, that's true. But I don't know. I think somebody's going to get in Korra's way that's her friend this time, and not necessarily a villain. Because I don't know. To me, that would make a good storytelling.
I really have no idea what they're going to do next season. There is no indicator. The only thing that is overarching is the spirits and Jinora's frickin' glowy messiah thing.
I say they kill Tenzin. You know why? Because I know, I don't want it to happen either, but this is important because Korra very rarely makes a decision that she doesn't doubt later down the road.
Or, ends up being bad in general.
So, who does she always go to for advice? Tenzin, in the end.
Doesn't even go to her dad. Just kind of...
Tenzin. Yeah. Kill Tenzin. Then you've axed the line, okay? You have to kill the mentor. The mentor usually dies. Dumbledore, all these people, they die.
I have two things that might contradict that.
Okay.
In the first series, they didn't kill Iroh.
No, they didn't.
And I think Avatar's going to stick with, keeping the mentor alive. And Tenzin hasn't had much, conflict resolution.
Yeah.
He had his thing with his dad. I'm Tenzin, not Aang. Whatever. But that's not enough to be like, he's a fully rounded character now. You can kill him.
Who do you think's more likely to kill? Lin, Tenzin, or...
I think we'll have Lin die this season.
Okay, Teagan.
I don't know. Maybe Lin.
I don't know. It makes more sense for them to kill Tenzin, but I think they'll kill Lin.
Yeah, because we're going to get backstory on Lin, so...
Yeah, that would make sense.
But don't you feel it's wasted?
Be like,
as soon as you're attached to her, just...
That's actually good. I like that.
That's how you get faithful audience members.
Oh, yeah.
Rip their hearts out.
Kill the characters.
Yeah.
Going to pull a George R. R. Martin.
See, another person says here, Sibius, spirits and humans have never been on the same playing field. Spirits will always be above humans. Even during Wan's time, the spirits dominated the planet. Humans were driven to live on lion trails through fear, while spirits enjoyed their paradise. This is going to be like asking humans, gods, and angels, and demons, and devils to all get along. So essentially, I don't know if that's necessarily the best way to say it, but it's like, it's going to happen again. The cycle is going to repeat.
The only thing that's different now is that a lot of people have bending. So if the spirits want to, like, come in and take over a city, and there's no, like, military for the spirits anyway. They're just kind of, like, there.
Yeah. And somebody, LOK lover, so Legend of Korra lover. So what does Korra do if people, from example, the Fire Nation, are being attacked by spirits? How will she be able to deal with that? She can't be in two places at once. And firebenders, I don't think, in brackets, can cleanse spirits like waterbenders can. The whole spirit living with human thing is very interesting. I'm excited to see how Korra deals with the problems. Cavill said, yeah, a lot would be going on. It would be tough for Korra to deal with. This should be interesting to see how she responds. Yeah, if you have multiple attacks or multiple problems at once, how is she going to resolve this? Because not a lot of people can actually cleanse spirits. It doesn't even seem that Tenzin can really do it.
Yeah, it's weird because right now we're looking at spirits to be like kind of on par with humans. But the way we've treated spirits so far is that we can control them.
Mm-hmm.
I say we because, human.
Yeah.
But, there's... Now that they're in the real world, I don't know. Like, are they going to be like their pets?
Yeah. How do you feel about, for example, a lot of people are doubting this whole permanent solution at the end. All other things have kind of had, like, their own conclusion. A lot of people don't believe you can actually have a balanced conclusion between spirits and humans. Doubtful of if it's resolved for the time being, you can't actually have a permanent solution. Will, for the interest of the viewer, the creators be like, we're going to actually create a permanent solution to how to make these things live in harmony? Or is that too hard to do and too far-fetched? Teagan.
I don't know. Someone else answer.
Why?
I gotta think about it.
You gotta think about it? Okay. AJ. It's a hard one. It's a hard one to say.
I don't think that there can be balance between spirits and humans. Although, they'll probably make balance between spirits and humans. Some way. But it will be like a cheap, everyone gets along. There's
you
no
think
more
they've
war.
resorted to that?
It's not an overly, complex series so far.
Right.
So I don't think they're going to go, so spirits have to be there. Everything's sectioned off. It's bad. It's bad. Just put the spirits back.
Yeah.
See, it's like in the flashback to Wan.
Right.
The spirits, they were like talking and stuff, but then they don't talk anymore, do they?
Well,
some do.
Like,
They
They do. I think they all do, but like, I don't know if necessarily the whole what spirits can and cannot do was fleshed out at the point.
There's definitely like some
continuity.
Maybe they can only talk in the spirit world.
Well,
no.
The Ai guy talks in.
Yeah, and so does that guy.
Rava and Vatu. And
all of them.
So I think it's
all
possible.
That have names.
And I think it's another thing. It's like you can get away with it because like spirits don't want to talk to humans, right?
But then you have like Boom June.
Yeah.
He's a bunny. I get he can't talk, but
yeah. See, because that's another thing. Like, I don't know. I felt like it was easier back in the Wan flashback to sort of communicate and get along. But then in like the nowadays times or whatever, the spirits seem more just like aggressive animals who freak out.
Mm-hmm. Well, and the animals in the world, like the appas, and they have connections to the spirit world as well. They have a spiritual backing, so that'll be interesting to see how they kind of deal.
And maybe they'll all gang up against the humans.
But I think one of the only ways that you can fight spirits back is with maybe the animals. If you're not a bender.
Yeah.
It's possible, though.
Well, you could probably, like, hit them with a stick or something.
Well, you see how Boomy did it. He kind of, like, tried to knife the one, and it didn't really work.
Shank him.
Yeah. So that pretty much wraps up this topic. We went on quite a bit about that one. The beginning was about the Pirate Bay. But what do you think about it?
So the way to stop the spirits is to put them in the cloud.
Yeah, put them in the cloud.
And then move your server around to different countries.
Yeah, definitely. So what do you guys think about that? I really want to hear some of your ideas. You can leave comments on our website, on our Twitter, any of our social medias. You can send us an email,
Except
anything.
Google Plus.
Except for Google Plus, because Google Plus sucks. Sorry, YouTube. Let us know what you think about the whole spirit thing and what Korra's going to do about next season. It's a pretty broad topic, so you can give us any answer. We don't care. And we'll see you right after the break.
And changing in a circle of sky, a circle of sea, a circle of sky, a circle of sea.
We're back with Castbender as AJ taps his foot on the ground.
I'm just so enthralled by the Murloc song.
First he was shaking. Now, in the break, we decided to stop for nice music. Well, you guys were listening to music. We were also listening to music, but we were listening
to the same music.
Yeah, we do that.
No, we were listening to like a really good band, but we can't tell you who they are because we don't want to get sued. Isn't that right, Teagan?
I have no idea what
all we have to say is Murloc.
Yeah, Murloc. Just Murloc. That's all you gotta know, everybody. Okay. So we're back here. We got a new topic, and Teagan's just messing around here. I don't know. You know, Teagan, I've had enough of your sass today. Okay.
You've been told.
You've been told off. How do you feel, Teagan? How do you feel?
I might punch you in the butt.
In the butt.
Mm-hmm.
That wouldn't hurt. It's very padded.
Sure.
You gotta go something for a little more. What?
Punch you in the right in the nipple.
Okay, we're getting too nipply for this show. All right, so we're back.
Can't be nipply.
AJ's playing Flow as he records this because he's a great. He's put a great focus.
I'm on level 30.
He's on level 30, guys.
One.
I've been playing some games too, but we'll talk about that when we're having
This is the most like ADD podcast.
Yeah, it is. Like, what's wrong though? Like, I know some podcasts I listen to. Nice. I know some podcasts where like the first 35 minutes of the episode is just them ranting on about something that has nothing to do with the topic at hand. Like in terms of like their shows about say gaming, and they talk about like what they did with their wife last night.
Well, if you watch the Rooster Teeth podcast,
yeah, the Rooster Teeth one.
It's just they just talk for an hour and a half. They just don't do anything.
Yeah, it's true. But see, they're Rooster Teeth, so they can get away with that. We actually have to have some conformity, or
for now. Until you want just us talking.
Yeah, whatever you want us to talk about, just tell us. And if anybody,
if you don't want to talk about Avatar anymore, I'm
down.
Cool with that.
Yeah. We should just like make a new show in the off season.
The off-season show.
Yeah, the off-season show.
The We Don't Care About Korra Anymore show.
Yeah, we can still bash it freely. So we're going to be talking...
that show we should do about Korra? Yeah, that show freaking sucks.
Book 3 should end with the cliffhanger ending. We kind of talked about that a little bit beforehand, and it should build anticipation for Book 4. So this is another article from Avatar: The Legend of Korra Online, but it's been widely, wanted. It wants to be...
I don't know if it's even like a cliffhanger that's wanted. It's just some kind of story, some story arc that we can relate to. Because every series you watch, whether it's a sci-fi, a cartoon, like even a sitcom, they all have an overarching season.
Yeah.
Overarching series plot line. Like if you look at 2.5 Men, it's a story of Charlie, Alan, and the kid.
The kid.
I can't remember the kid's name. Their life. If you look at Doctor Who, it's the story of the Doctor and his companions over the time. If you look at Sherlock, it's the story of him and Watson. Anything. If you look at Korra, it's the story of her and her friends taking on individual situations.
Yeah.
And Avatar did it with the trilogy type thing, and this is 4, so it's not a trilogy, but it's close enough.
It's a chronicle.
It's a chronicle now, after 3, right? So, or Saga, is that 6?
There's a 4-1, but...
I think you can use Saga anywhere after 3 as well, too. Because some people refer to the Harry Potter as a saga, even though I
just call it a series.
Yeah, I just call it a series, too. Chronicles sounds nice. It's got a nice ring to it. It makes it sound very fantasy-like. If you call it the Chronicles of Narnia or something.
Chronicles of Korra.
The Chronicles of Korra. That makes sense. Okay, but anyway, so a lot of people want a cliffhanger ending, or as AJ suggested, some kind of continuity to the next season. Some of the same things, some of the same problems that haven't been resolved,
or maybe even mention what happened in the last season.
Exactly.
Truth.
So, I don't know where to start with this. I think
just continue to bash Korra.
Yeah. Many viewers want the writers to formulate some sort of villain that arcs over. That's the key thing here. We want a good villain. What do you think about a good villain? How would they implement a good villain?
A good villain could be someone from the old series, like maybe Ko. Maybe that's what we've been hoping for the whole time.
Yeah, Ko.
Or the return of something, or Azula.
Yeah.
Being a badass.
Yeah.
When she's 90.
I don't even know if you necessarily need a quote-unquote villain. You just need a conflict of something for them to solve.
You need a good conflict for something to happen.
Mm-hmm. Even if the thing's corny, by no means is someone say Voldemort the most original, best villain of all time, but at least he had some thing to prove the whole time. Mm-hmm. And it's sometimes those smaller villains that are actually considered the best villains of all time. It's like Umbridge. He's probably a better, and Bellatrix is probably a better villain than Voldemort. Because you look at the book 5, you just hate Umbridge. Everything about Umbridge, you just want to kill her.
Just like Harry.
Probably more, just like here. Probably more than Voldemort. I probably hate Umbridge more than I hate Voldemort. And someone like Bellatrix too is killed Neville's parents. You see that
didn't
kill Neville's parents,
or tortured them,
made them insane.
Yeah. But essentially, it's the same effect made them useless to Neville in terms of growing up. Mm-hmm. And also, someone also killed Sirius, or at least made Sirius indirectly die from falling through the veil. But these characters are a lot more, even though sometimes minor, they can pose threats. So maybe you have a main villain, but you have other characters that are of some...
That's something we lacked in this last season, too, is a secondary villain.
Mm-hmm.
We had the lieutenant as minor as he was in the first season.
I like the lieutenant.
Yeah, he was good. You didn't have much backstory on him, but he was.
No, I like the
didn't
concept.
Even have a name. He just lieutenant.
I like his outfit and stuff. Mm-hmm. It's cool.
He had a nice Fu Manchu.
Nice Fu Manchu going on. I hope that's not racist.
Please disregard the racism. We're ignorant.
We're ignorant. But it's true. Even Avatar: The Last Airbender, you had Zuko for a long time.
You had Zuko, Zhao, Azula, Mei and Ty Lee.
Mm-hmm.
All these amazing, some anti-heroes, some villains, completely.
Yeah.
But they're just, oh my God.
You don't really even...
such a good show.
Who's your...
And this one just sucks so many balls.
Who's your anti-hero in Korra? Nobody.
Mako.
No, Mako's part of the law. Like there's nothing anti-hero about that. Korra?
Yeah, she's kind of not a hero.
Let's commit genocide.
I don't know, there's... Tonrak kind of was an anti-hero for a while, because you hated him. But you hated Korra more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
there's no...
It's hard.
There's
even
no when
roles.
there's conflict, there isn't conflict.
You know what's bad when you have a regular series that's still good, but you complain about it following cliches. You know the series might need some reworking. Not necessarily bad, but when you don't even have any of those typical roles, sometimes you don't even have the typical roles. You have some of them. Like you have the main character. Like you can't really get away with not having a main character.
You have the crappy hero, the comic relief character.
The love interest.
The love...
Triangle.
The love interest triangle bullcrap.
Because the triangle is important these days.
You have the girl that doesn't fit in.
Yeah.
And then you have Tenzin.
The overprotective dad.
Who isn't the dad.
Or no, not Tenzin, but you have Tonrak as the overprotective dad in some regards. And then you have Tenzin the mentor. And then, yeah, so you have those, but you don't have a constant villain, enough anti-heroes, enough... bullies or any of those type of character roles.
I guess Asuka and Desna were kind of
like bullies.
Yeah, they're kind of maybe the anti-hero,
but
kind of sub-villain thing, but they weren't really.
They were just kind of following the orders of their dad because they didn't really understand, and they didn't even do anything that villainous.
Would Varric be the anti-hero?
Maybe.
Yeah, kind of, because he was kind of plotting stuff, and I guess that's true to a sense that Varric might be, but
he might be the villain for next season.
Yeah, we've talked about that. And Varric is one of the only redeeming qualities of the whole Korra thing. He's my favorite new character added. He's in my top 5 characters from every series. He's just really intriguing. There's a lot you can do with him. There's not a lot of ways you can really screw up his character.
But they'll find a way.
But like I don't know. Let's go see what some other people's opinions are. Oh, this is a great...
They're prime.
I want Lin, Tenzin, Mako, Bolin, Asami, Pabu, or Naga killed off. I want blood.
I want them all to die.
And then it says, just kidding. But I'm actually not kidding. I want them all dead.
I could deal with, like, Lin and Tenzin going out together.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, kill each other.
Guest, with the person's name Guest, and he's got, like, a... Bryan Cranston, Walter White, like the orange or the yellow photo. He's got like, he says, I don't mind seeing Mako, Bolin, or Asami being killed off. I'd rather encourage it. Then Korra would be meet better people. Iroh would be the firebender, and Earthbender would actually be useful, and a Kyoshi warrior non-bender. And none of these companions would try to date Korra, and Korra wouldn't try to date them.
Well, like we have this awesome character with General Iroh. And they don't touch him at all. Yeah, and then he's like the characters just don't portray the characters we loved so dearly in Avatar: The Last Airbender, and it's true. It's not close. It's not even anywhere. It's just on a whole different planet, and that's what makes Avatar superior. Above all else, you can deal with you can always deal with one crappy component of a series if it's strong in any other suit, but this isn't strong in any areas quite yet, or maybe ever. So, or maybe, probably never.
What do you think of them killing off some characters, or at least, because it's a kid's show, not killing them off, but getting new characters tagged?
I think it's something that would definitely add to the show, and it's something that we're missing, because it seems sort of like it's just not serious.
Like, what's your perspective of it? Because you haven't watched all of Avatar: The Last Airbender. I'd be interested to see what you think about Korra in terms of you don't like some of these characters. So that goes to say that we aren't just fans that are Series 1 purists that don't like anything else, any sequels, prequels, or any of that nonsense. I'm all down for more content.
Except for movies.
M. Night Shyamalan specifically. But Teagan you don't even enjoy a lot of these characters. You don't think they're overly great.
Nope.
I really don't know why you're here.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
Yeah. But do you think if they introduce new characters, Teagan, that they just screw those ones up too?
Probably. I don't know. Like, I really liked Varric. He's probably my second favorite character after Tenzin.
Right. Okay.
So, they can do it.
Oh yeah,
they did it, but I don't know.
I'd say a phasing
See,
out.
I just want them to kill someone because, as you said, I don't like them. So I'm like,
you can phase these characters out though, because it's easy to phase some of these characters out. You can make Bolin go off and pursue his acting. Like, he comes on the show every once in a while, but he's not there. Mako is a cop. How is he going to get off his cop duty to go running around the world? Phase in Varric, make him either a villain, as a villain, and then or an anti-hero, and then phase in some new characters that Korra meets on her journeys, because everybody wants to see more of the Korra world, right? Or the Avatar world. So as she travels, let her find some new companions, how they kind of stumbled across Toph, for example, you know? AJ?
There's a problem that I find with, like, Team Avatar 2. There's no need for a Team Avatar anymore, because Team Avatar was the kids that were traveling around the world. We haven't had the group travel anywhere. When they were together, they were in Republic City. And there was still a whole bunch of people around them, so it's not like it's the four, the group that's going to save the world like the other group did. It's the group plus this army behind them, or this other stuff that's happening. And if the problem with phasing the characters out, we've already had 2 seasons of invested time with them, and the casual viewers
wouldn't understand.
They wouldn't get it. Like, if you just got rid of Mako and pulled in General Iroh, like,
would you say
how the hell did he get here?
Would you say there's more casual viewers for Korra than there was Avatar: The Last Airbender? Yeah,
definitely more casual,
and that's maybe why it sucks more.
I think a lot of blame goes to Nick for why it sucks so much.
Yeah, you think so? Because we don't know a lot of the internal process. Like, I don't think that the creators are bad writers. I would never diss them. I'd love to talk to them. They're great. They've made a great series.
The ideas that are the foundation of Korra could have been an amazing series.
I think they're blocked a lot more in the creative process. Like, they would probably approach like anything and things get rejected.
They wanted to make a more mature series, but Nick is a kid's network.
Do you think they should have gone somewhere else?
Well, they can't, because Nick owns the rights to Avatar.
I honestly say maybe maybe after Korra, they make a new series.
Yeah, if I've said it before. Imagine if Avatar was on HBO.
Yeah.
How much blood and gore and how much more adult the series would be.
Even okay, because I'm trying to think. You have some stations that air like more mature, animated type content.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know exactly where a fantasy animated series would be placed.
Well, there's tons of anime places like.
Why are we thinking TV anymore? Web series.
Yeah, like
online.
They could do it.
Netflix, YouTube, or even let them write a live action show. That'd be good. That's fantasy. Like, there's successful ones right now. It's the time to write a fantasy show. You have Game of Thrones, that kind of stuff. Vampire Diaries, Hemlock Grove, like all these kind of supernatural science fiction or somewhat fantasy related shows are doing well their live action, right?
Yes.
So, I don't know. I'd say that they should probably get away from doing this because I don't know if Nick's right for the audience. Because like Harry Potter and a lot of these other series, Star Wars or whatever, the audience grows up with the characters. So now the core audience that started with Avatar is our age or older, maybe a little bit younger.
I think Nick's trying to do what Nintendo and I think it's 4Kids that owns Pokemon is doing, because they started out really young, like our generation had.
Which is the 90s, by the way.
Kanto Johto, the first 2 seasons.
Yeah.
And then it kind of petered off.
Yeah.
But they've kept the same stuff, just altering.
Yeah, we talked about the reskinning of the characters and stuff like that.
But they haven't changed it at all, and that it's worked for them to keep new kids coming in, for now anyway. But Avatar it's a much more story-based show, so
That's true.
It's harder for that to happen. There's always in the original series, there's always character development and progression. In Pokemon, not so much.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Pokemon, all the development of Pokemon was, you can watch an episode of Pokemon now and kind of by the end of the episode figure out what's going to go.
There's going to be Pokemon in it. There's going to be Team Rocket.
And like they're going to be battling or something or walking somewhere. So like that this one viewer kind of switched gears a little bit. One person that commented on this post, Freedom Fighter. He's like, I don't know how I feel about a cliffhanger. I'm kind of the person that binge watches the show, for example. I started watching Avatar: The Last Airbender after all the episodes had aired, so I was able to watch like 5 episodes a night if I wanted. Another example is in Naruto Shippuden. Yeah. I am almost done watching all the dubbed episodes that are out now, and I kind of feel sad that I have to wait to watch 1 episode a week rather than as many as I want. I tried watching, but he didn't enjoy it. So bottom line, he liked that. So do you think you have to change the story now that people are binge watchers?
Well, no, that's not how TV works.
Yeah.
Like, shows come out on a schedule.
Unless it's like a Netflix.
Yeah, but Avatar's not like that. And like you said, it's a very story-based thing.
Yeah.
It's good to come in chapters of a book. And if you have a cliffhanger in a book, people are more likely to come and watch the next book or read the book.
Yeah.
So, do it. Because you want more ratings.
Honestly, if you...
Just do it.
Just wait.
Just do it.
Just wait. If you want to watch a whole season in like 2 days, then I just wait. Like, I know it sucks, but just wait.
Yeah.
Like, there's not much you can do about it. But like, I agree. Another thing is...
I like binge watching as much as the next person, but the wait and the discussion of the show is part of the pleasure for me.
And it's great because that means we can do Castbender longer. A. James 123 said, I think the current state of Republic City is a cliffhanger for me.
Oh,
that's such a big cliffhanger.
Teagan in the face was like, no.
I apologize for making fun of your point, but you're wrong.
Yeah. Somebody said, please kill Asami and Mako. That's their name.
Oh.
Said the general consensus is that nobody gives a rat's behind about Mako and Asami, so they have them both shield Korra from a grenade so the story can become better.
Okay.
If the grenades involved, then you have Bruno Mars. In the background, as
God.
Asami and Mako are making out in front of Korra and then take a hit.
Then the grenade
Not like a
lands
drug.
right between their lips.
It's the shape of a heart, and boom!
Boom goes the dynamite.
Found love in a hopeless place.
Oh.
It's a shame that they made these characters so freaking bad.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
You want them to die now?
If you guys don't want to hear ripping, then this probably isn't. Like, there's nowhere on the internet anymore that you can't find anything really positive about Korra. I'm sorry.
Please submit a topic that can have a positive spin on Korra at this point.
Yeah. A. Sam Weston said, as great as an idea as it is, I'm sort of doubtful that this will happen. Book 3 is an animation, and Book 4's dialogue was recorded months ago. In other words, the writers are done writing, and they can't go back now. Still, this idea does have its merits. I just hope the writers thought of it before we did. And then Wise Lion Turtle said, bro. Okay, first of all, he's not wise, because he just said bro. Like, what kind of wise man says bro?
Bro.
Yo, bro, dude. I have to tell you that you're wrong. I don't know if they will, or if this will make you happy or not, but for example, the final of Book 2 should have been much different. But in the last second, they decided to change it, so they had to do a whole episode or 2 again, so it's possible. Yeah, I'm saying they can go back and change
Yeah,
it.
for sure.
It's not like set in stone.
Yeah.
I think there's just the structures have been worked out, and a lot of the core animation's probably been like done.
I wonder what the other ending for Book 2 would have been.
Yeah.
That's weird. Ariana Moreno said it would be a good idea, I think, to have the villains last through Book 3 and 4 for good development, and make it so that Book 3 doesn't have a definite close like the other 2 seasons. It happened with Avatar: The Last Airbender. They never concluded any of the stories, and the villain Ozai, Azula as well, were the villains the whole time, and Aang's whole journey was based on defeating them and all the way to the end, and the journey within the series. That provided more motivation. I think fans would be more interested to see that happen, and that's true, because look, the numbers dipped for a number of reasons, I think, with Korra. Though they reached normal by the end, it's because people don't care, because they know that nothing really fantastic is going to happen. They can catch up on it later. That they know they're not invested because the story's not something that you need to invest in. It's ultimately, you don't need to invest in Korra to be able to enjoy it just as much as anybody else. Avatar: The Last Airbender, to really enjoy the series, you had to be invested in it. So that's my conclusion. What do you guys think? AJ?
I had a really good thought.
You have a good thought, what?
I did, but now I've misplaced the thought.
You can hear the wind. Teagan.
Whisper.
I forgot what we were talking about.
Oh dear.
I know.
No. I was saying that you had to be an invested viewer.
Yes. I agree because like I'm obviously not super duper invested in this and I'm new to it, and yet I have watched all of Korra and I binge watched it, but I casually watched it.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I find the original series was a lot more, I don't know, complicated. I have to pay more attention.
Yeah.
If that makes sense to that
Yeah.
as compared to Korra.
Yeah, she's watched, 5 episodes?
Yeah, 5 or 6. But.
Yeah, 6. And we're going to complete her, and then, so we're going to complete the watch of that with her so she can kind of have a different opinion. We'll do an episode on that later on. But, I agree. You know what I mean? Yeah. AJ, do you have anything to say?
Yeah, the reason why you can be such a casual viewer with Korra is it's all just new stuff every episode. There's no overarching story.
Yes.
You can't just pick up an Avatar.
Even without the cliffhanger endings in the first series, you always knew Aang had to somehow defeat the Fire Lord.
Yeah.
He had to stop the Fire Lord before he killed everything.
Mm-hmm.
In Korra, there hasn't been any stakes like that. There would have been if the Dark Avatar had survived more than 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But, alas,
It didn't.
that did not happen.
I was also thinking, you can get away, actually, with a lot of not great content if you make the story complex.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because, say, for example, something like the show Lost. A lot of people agree that the first 4 seasons, which you can't watch Lost, you can't even start the second episode or the third episode watching Lost. You have to start from the first episode. And the reason why is it's so complex and so frustrating to understand. And after season 4, people are still invested because it's so complicated that seasons 5 and 6 weren't that great. But because people were invested for so long, they wanted to get to the end.
Yes, exactly.
You know what I mean? I think Korra is easy to drop. And I'm almost a great example of that. I didn't start watching Korra season 2 until just over halfway, I believe, into the season, because I actually was not really that interested at the time in Korra, because look, it just wasn't that great and it had nothing for me to do to make sure I wanted to come back. The long extended off season, the kind of piss poor first season, I watched the first episode of season 2 and it was just kind of I watched a quarter or a half of it and was just I just don't like this right now. So I had to wait and come back to it. And I think that that kind of I don't know, I think it attests to what the show is kind of doing wrong right now. So,
So in short, Korra sucks. We quit.
We quit. That's true. All right. So guys, tell us your opinions on the cliffhanger ending or extended kind of plots of book 3 and 4. And just take whatever we said and formulate your own opinions. I'd love to hear, and we'd love to hear what you have to say about that. So cue the last music break, and we'll be back with contact information in a moment.
I'm no more the hero of my life. Time moving. I got my low and highs right in front of me. Young and selfish walls and innocent sails. I kinda realized that we're all guest stars in every shooting film of humanity. Each one on his own. One's coming, one is gone. Oh.
We're back, everybody, from the break.
Oh,
we had to
boy.
record it twice because it sounded stupid to begin with.
Stupid.
Stupid. So, AJ, we got to complete with the deal or no deal. Before I go. So, cliffhanger ending for book 3. Deal or no deal?
Maybe. Deal if they do it right. If not, then they can...
Are you banker right now? Are you going to the banker?
I wonder how many people actually freaking listen to this part of the podcast.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, deal or no deal? That I don't even know anymore. No more deal or no deals.
I agree.
I agree.
Deal with that.
Deal. So if you want to know anything about the social media and stuff and how to contact the show, I'm about to tell you
Just
here.
look on the website. It's all there.
Castbender.ca. That's where all the information's held. I'm just going to go through a couple quick ones.
Castbender.canada.
Yeah.
Because we're Canadian.
So, Twitter.com/Castbender for tweets and stuff. That's where you're going to find us most. Facebook.com/Castbender. It's dying, so yeah.
It's dying. Need your help. Go save it.
You can email us at castbender@live.com. You can go find us on YouTube. We put up content like every single day there. YouTube.com/CastbenderPodcast. You can watch the post show. You can watch the vlogs. You can watch the One Take Sundays. All that crazy awesome stuff. You can watch this episode there as well. You can donate. So go to our website, castbender.com or CA. No comms. Why does America have comms?
I think that's just the general one.
Yeah, shouldn't they be like NA or something?
I think there's .us.
Oh yeah, there is .us. That's right. .us.
Aw.
That's nice.
Google us.
So
Google us.
So castbender.ca. There's a donate tab if you want to donate. Remember, we're poor. So you can click that.
If you really want to see how poor we are,
come live with us.
Yeah. We're sitting on the floor right now.
Yeah,
we don't own a table.
We don't own a table. We don't have any food to our names. We are literally starving.
We are going to sell this episode for one loaf of bread.
On the street for a loaf of bread that's stale and that has rat crap in it.
But it adds flavor, so...
Stop it!
Teagan loves the savory flavor.
She refuses to eat the rat crap, so it just needs more from you.
Where's this even going?
I quit.
Okay. So, guys, make sure you check out all the stuff. We had a great time shooting this episode, and we'll see you guys next Tuesday.
We had a marvelous time shooting this
episode.
episode.
I am Murloc. I am deaf.
Well, we just gave a huge hint there in the song. Good night, good morning, good afternoon.